Hello folks and welcome back to Rome Total War. I am Conistip and this is going to be part 44 of my Imperial campaign where I'm playing as Egypt, and we are continuing to counterpunch our multiple enemies on multiple fronts while we build up our war machine. Yeah, taking that time off while we were trying to subjugate the Armenians really did put us behind in a few ways, but we're doing okay here. I think that there's going to be a pretty good counterpunch here against the Greeks, who have finally declared war against us in the last episode by actually putting Artaxata under siege. Now this army here does have a few ballistas in here, and I didn't actually consider this when I was thinking, hey, I will just sally out and shoot them to death like I have been doing in previous sally outs. I wonder how much of a difference it's going to make having those ballistas. They don't have... does it tell me here? Their range? Does it tell me their range? Does not say the range on here. I think the range of the ballistas is not as far as an onager, but obviously it's farther than an archer. Now I don't have any Pharaoh's bowmen in Artaxata. I just have the basic bowman, which isn't, as good range-wise and power-wise. But shooting from the top of my walls, I wonder how that range works out between ballistas and archers on top of walls. I don't know. I would imagine that ballistas would still be out of range of the tower defenses. Otherwise, like, what's the point of an artillery piece, essentially, if they can get shot by the defenses? I still like my chances here. I would have to imagine that even if I have to sally out, say, like with some cavalry or some chariots to deal with those ballistas, I can probably handle that as well. So that's going to be a Greek army that's probably going to be dealt with. And then up here I can just kind of shoo off this small little Greek army that is hanging out here. I got two armies, one sieging Kotais and then just one sort of guarding. And then down here, there's a Greek army that may want to attack my army that's sitting on this bridge. That would be really awesome. This Greek army does not have any ballistas, so this would be the perfect army for me to destroy in a bridge battle. That would be really good. Now, this is sort of like the wild card Greek army. What are they going to do? Now, if they do continue to march up this valley, then this army, once it's done shooing off this small Greek army, should be able to turn around and catch up to them, depending on how far I have to chase this army. We will see, of course. Down here, I have one Egyptian army that's basically just bottling up like 4 stacks of combined Seleucid and Greek forces, so that's working out okay for me so far. Antioch's in the red, not too great. Actually, no, I can switch that. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. There we go. Now Antioch's fine, and we can continue to move peasants up. You are going to continue to move to Fraspa. What's the fastest way to Fraspa? It's going to be up here. Okay. And then you are going to continue marching towards Artaxata. Whichever. Yeah, just get to the neighborhood. That's, let's see, then there's of course brigands I need to fight as well. In fact, we're getting close to that. Let's bring you out, and I have some bowmen and some Nile spears. I have some units down here, but I guess I don't need these Nubian cav to defeat these brigands. So that should be fine. And then down here, yeah, just boxing with the Scipii. The Romans just keep on coming on in waves, and I'm still not quite built up to the point where I can push back. The fact that Alexandria is undergoing a plague right now means that I'm not training anything right there because I don't want to contaminate anything else in my empire. That's hurting my production capabilities in this sector here. Memphis can produce some good units. Thebes cannot. It can only just kind of train the low tier stuff. So I can contribute with some Egyptian chariots and slingers, skirmishers, Nubian spears, who have been long since classed out. So I'm not training those anymore. Now, with that being said, I don't mind the idea of using the Nubian spearmen that I already do have trained up. In fact, I have been using them in this army right here. It's funny, the thing about like Phalanx spearmen is that the AI tends to have a pretty good idea that they are phalanx spearmen, and that AI tends to understand that it shouldn't be charging phalanx spearmen head on. So just as an area denial tool, it seems like even the low tier stuff can do its job reasonably well. Now I'm curious about like how far that can be tested out, right? Because it gets to the point where I would imagine that the heavy, infantry of the Romans, I would say, legionary upwards, maybe even early legionary onwards, I would imagine that with their mass and their armor, they might be able to push their way into a Nubian spearman phalanx and start hacking guys down. And once that formation breaks apart, we know how that ends. So I would imagine that the heaviest of the heavy, the good Roman infantry can probably still push through a weaker phalanx. I still have my suspicions that there is a sort of hesitation on the AI's point where they still see, hey, wall of spears. I don't want that. I don't want to charge into that. Unless, of course, I bait them by using my skirmishers and my slingers, which is obviously the tactic that I use often. But what I'm trying to say, though, is that I don't really mind the idea of continuing to use these as long as I have them. I've spent the money on training them, and they are here. And as long as they're working as a part of a balanced army composition where, the other pieces do the work, right? The heavy lifting is being done by my missile pieces and my mobility pieces, not so much my infantry, right? So the infantry in my armies is just being used, just to basically shield the light infantry, but then to also basically provide a pillar that my mobility pieces can kind of revolve around, and always, they can duck around behind and sort of act more defensively and lure the enemy, whether I'm luring them into range of my missile units or whether I'm luring them into a position where I can easily reinforce a cavalry / mobility like wing engagement with my mobile infantry pieces, like my desert axes. That's easier done closer to my lines. Having like wing engagements like further away from infantry support, it's something that can be done, obviously, if you have really strong mobility elements, like some really strong heavy cav, for instance, is the main way that you do that. That way you don't really need infantry support or any support. You can just kind of bully your way around. But the Egyptian unit roster doesn't have that type of cav that's like just, OP. And even the chariots, I think, have their limitations, or I could just be using them wrong. There's definitely still some learning to do with how I use chariots. But in general, I think that having the chariot archers is a very good tool and a very unique tool for the Egyptians, and that I can sort of, play that skirmish game and lure them closer to my lines. And having the desert axes is also, I would say, a unique tool as well. Looking at the Greek unit roster, they don't have that unit they don't have a non-phalanx infantry unit, which is that's a bummer. So that makes it really tough for the Greeks to how do they use reserves, or how do they play that kind of game. I'll get to that when I play as the Greeks. I'll have to figure that one out. But anyway, so there's definitely, I would say, room for these Nubians in a combined arms army comp, which is sort of what I've been accomplishing here so far. And yes, we can also get this done. We can clear out this Roman army as well, just in time because we got more on the way. And yeah, we're not going to be able to push back until things are looking a bit stronger. I probably need at least two like good stacks. I don't want a random stack. I want some chariots and some cav. But I'm getting there. I'm training stuff slowly but surely here in Memphis, and I do have units that are kind of coming on the way. I got some mercenaries. That's pretty cool. Another general, sweet. Yep, always can use that. And I'm training stuff here in Petra and Bostra. Yeah, chariots and Bostra, spears and Petra. Jerusalem, gosh, I could even bring some Pharaoh's guards down from Jerusalem if I wanted to. I have some boats, so I could shorten the journey between Egypt and the Levant, or Eastern Mediterranean provinces. Now, I built up some stables. A couple episodes ago, I was like, all right, enough of this. I want to be able to train soldiers everywhere. And You know, sometimes I don't want to overthink things, but then sometimes I'm like, ooh, I should have thought more about that. Because like training is like saying I train for Desert Cav, and then what? Like it takes what 5 turns to get to anywhere? 6 turns. It might take a long. You know, how long would it take for them to get anywhere? You know, that's 1, 2, 3 just to like get to Basra. And then at least another 3 to get to there. Probably like probably like 7 turns to get to like, you know, so like I don't know. Was I saving myself time by doing that? Yeah, I don't know. A little suspect. I don't know. But then again, like being able to train stuff in Palmyra, Basra, Petra, these places aren't that far away from the front lines. So I'm not too concerned about that. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'm not going to beat myself up too much. And then, speaking of beating myself up too much, I'm just going to keep this experiment going. Despite the fact that the Armenians have now allied themselves with the Parthians. Whatever. I'm just going to... I have one army. Yes, I'm paying upkeep on this. Yes, it's not a great look. I just had to remind myself. It was really helpful the other day. I was watching a video on YouTube where it was just about playing slowly and sort of... harkening back to the good old days of like, you know, where we played video games to explore and to, you know, fall in love with the exploration of the game. And how we've sort of gone away from that by, you know, being too busy to do that. And so we try to find these meta play styles. And that's the video that I needed to, you know, of course, knowing me, that video speaks to my soul. And in general, I do follow those templates, those play styles of, you know, playing slow. But I needed to watch that in that moment to remind myself, you know what, that's what I'm doing here. I'm trying to figure this out. Also, I have been watching a lot of Count MRVHS's videos where he is trying to figure out like the inheritance mechanic in medieval Total War. And again, that's just a reminder of like how much work it takes sometimes to figure things out. And this is like work despite the fact that Count MRVHS has made a video describing, you know, perfectly how to, you know, have these protectorates made, but there's still some things that I'm trying to figure out here. For instance, it has been suggested by another viewer that by trying to include the gifting of a settlement in that protectorate agreement may have dissuaded them from taking that. And that it's a little counterintuitive, but there's a diplomacy guide that I've been reading, that I've been going off of, that I think is doing a good job of trying to figure these things out in this game. And one of the things that was mentioned is that it can be a situation where you have to essentially pay a faction in order to gift them, give them a settlement, you know, not, and the other way around. Like if you wanted them to give you a settlement, you have to pay them as well. But there seems to be a certain AI suspicion when like they're being asked to take command of a settlement. It's kind of a weird thing. You can kind of see it, you know, because it would stretch their resources and it might, you know, put them into a position where they are bordering enemy or potential enemies, or, you know, it's almost like they're kind of seeing past your plans and saying, wait a minute, you want me as a buffer, don't you? And so you have to like pay them to be your buffer. If that's like the thinking, that's pretty intelligent. I have to say that makes sense. So like, I think that a lot of people would scoff at that and be like, well, I'm not going to pay the AI for me to give them a settlement, but why, but that's, I don't know why, let's have some fun, you know? So yeah, that's going to be something that I keep in mind. As maybe I have to do this step by step and make them a protectorate first, and then like give them a settlement once that protectorate has happened. Maybe it can't just be done all at once. Maybe that's a little too much to ask for this stage of this, you know, relationship essentially. The other question is, can I even get someone to be my protectorate if they're allied with one of my enemies? I don't know. Let's find out. The main problem right now is that I'm spending my money, and I'm just going to keep spending it. And it might be the case where I have to take another break from spending and build up that war chest again. However, that wouldn't be happening until I've taken Rhodes and I'm making that 40% trade income. So it might, you know, this army might be here for a while. If anything, I'm just going to tell myself, you know what? The Parthians up here, they're my enemies and they're starting to spread out. They are. So like they're my neighbors up here now. So having an army up here is probably what I should have anyway. You know? Like I should probably have a standing army up here on my northern border just because the Parthians are my enemies. And I think the Brutii are pushing east as well. Yeah, the Brutii are pushing east. I mean, they at least have Campus Scythii. So, you know, whoever it's going to be, I'm going to have some enemies to my north. So the fact that I'm paying upkeep for an army up here is like, all right. Like that's how it's going to be anyway. So they may as well continue to siege down the Armenians and just kind of see what happens here. You know, if I can sweeten the deal by upgrading Artaxata, or sorry, no, upgrading Fraspa. Yeah, that was the idea. Upgrade Fraspa. And maybe make that more of an appealing option for them. Or, you know, just do it step by step. Make them a protectorate and then try to gift them Fraspa afterwards. Even if I have to, you know, pay them some money. That shouldn't take like 100 grand. That should just take a chunk. You know, 1,000 here, 1,000 there. Something like that. All right. First things first, what do we want to do? What's the first fight that we want to do? Let's chase these guys off.
My liege.
Yeah, so there's not much here. Archers, peltasts, bastarnae, mercenaries, these are pretty sweet looking. And some hoplites, but by the strength of their banners, these units must be pretty beat up, so...
Attack!
Yeah, and I don't want to go too far away here, so it looks like that's a good thing they didn't run away too far. And, oh, they do have a ballista, okay. Interesting. Yeah, they have some armored hoplites and some militia cavalry. The bastarnae mercenaries are very beat up, so don't have to worry too much about that. Yep, hoplites, militia hoplites, pretty beat up stuff. I should be able to just shoot them and use my chariot archers to shoot them, and just shoot them, yeah. Should be fine. You know what's funny about this map is that I actually have just played a battle on this map recently in one of my barbarian invasion campaigns that I'm practicing. Yeah, this exact map. I was like, why is this familiar to me? Oh yeah, that's right, I just played here. I lost, by the way. That battle sucked. Hopefully I don't repeat that when I actually do play barbarian invasions on this channel. But that's why I practice. We are currently just working to surround the Greek army. Of course, we do have the numbers and the mobility and the range advantage. It's the only thing I don't want to do is attack into their little spiky things. So it looks like they're going to be bringing out their archers. They have 62 of them. And I just don't want to be taking free knocks on my chariots, or my cav for that matter. Slingers, sure. Yeah, if slingers want to, you know, go ahead and screen my main force, that's fine with me. Yeah, or we can draw out those archers as well. Oh, we want to draw out those militia cavalry, alright. I'm pretty sure we're going to be fine against militia cavalry and archers. I mean, desert cav and chariots, I mean, chariot archers. Those militia cavalry, is my understanding that they do have javelins. Let's see, are my slingers in range of stuff? They're in range of those archers, okay, that's pretty cool. They want to bring out those peltasts as well. And there we go. Yeah, they're bringing in their Thracian mercenaries to bring back my... Yep, they got wiped out by singers. And now, yeah, they got some hoplites moving forward. And are we getting shots in on these archers and peltasts? Yes, we are. And are our chariots getting shot? I don't want them to be getting shot. Alright, they want to move back with their units there. That's fine. And now their hoplites are getting shot as well, so they're going to get picked apart. Let's go ahead and move my cav back up. I can't imagine they're going to make it to my front lines. Yeah, these are just basic hoplites. I know they have some armored boys in there. Yeah, there they go. They have been routed. Let's move my chariots back up. Oops, did not mean to do that. There we go. And let's see here. Are they moving forward? They are moving forward, okay. So if they want to move forward, then that's a fine position, I think, for my units to pause at. And yeah, looks like they're splitting out. Armored hoplites want to go in that direction. Armored hoplites, yeah, they're leading with their armored hoplites now. And I think their ranged tools are out of. I don't think they're in range of. Yeah, I don't think any of my guys are getting shot. So we'll just be picking them apart here. I understand these guys will be taking more hits to take losses due to their heavy armor. But they're so freaking slow though. Yeah, they're so slow. Let's see. Yeah, it's a slow process, man. They're that heavy armor is definitely helping them out quite a bit. All right, let's see. Peltests are moving up. Let's go ahead and just like hit these guys before they can get their javelins tossed at us. There we go. That took care of that. And yeah, if we can get some shots into the rears of those armored hoplites as they're moving away. Ooh, 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 guys, go back, go back. There we go, there we go. And, yep, there we go. Now we can shoot into their rear, perfect. Bring them back up. And chariot archers chasing down Peltas, that's okay. And even chasing down armored hoplites now that they've been routed, I'm also a-okay with. Ooh, and if I get into that ballista as well, that would be pretty nice. So chariot archers move up, and Egyptian chariots move up as well. So yeah, those guys have been routed. So let's get Egyptian cavalry to chase down those armored hoplites. And what do we have? More militia hoplites moving up. Let's go ahead and... Oh, they want to bring in their militia cavalry in to tangle with my chariot archers. I think I should win that fight, right? Did we win that fight? Yes, we did. Yeah, okay. So those armored hoplites did rally, so let's get back here before we accidentally run on into them. Alright, Desert Cav, let's run down this ballista, please, and thank you. And yep, let's just kind of turn around and continue shooting at those guys while hoplites are getting... Yeah, there we go. Let's just run those guys down. Alright, so we got ballistas, they're going to be taken care of, and let's go ahead and take out these militia hoplites. The only thing we have to keep our eye on now is this armored hoplite. Let's make sure that we're shooting at the right units here, and not the units that are being hit by my guys. Let's go here, let's go here. No, 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 not in the spears, no. Oh dear, let's go, let's go, let's go. Alright. Alright, that was close. That was close. It looks like we got it out of there okay. We should be getting some shots into the rear of these armored hoplites now, and yeah, the fact that they're still hanging in there, they must have pretty good morale. Yeah, they're down to 18 guys. They're still shooting in, right? Yeah, 16 guys. And they still have not broken. My goodness, there they go.
The enemy flee! Chase them from the field and give them no rest or pity!
Yes, let's just run down the remaining 13 of these guys to make sure that this army has been wiped out. I'm pretty sure that, yeah, 97%. So this should be good and done. Now we did lose 9 men, but we killed 452, and that should be a small little Greek army wiped out. So now this army is going to be freed up to... possibly come around here. Do you have any movement left? Yes, you do. Perfect. Yeah, this is great. So there's no reason to come down here until the Greeks finish off Sinope. I think it's pronounced Sinope. I just heard someone call it Sinope, or I've been calling it Sinope. So maybe it's not Sinope. If I hear someone else call it something different, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, let's just like what do I want to bet on here? Let's just block them.
Forward.
Yeah, let's just go like there.
Out of moves, great lord.
Okay, we don't have vision on everything that they have. I don't see any ballistas though. Do I have? Yes, I do have a spy.
Are yours.
It's tempting.
My eyes are yours. My eyes are yours.
It's tempting to send you up. 93%.
None shall see me.
So no ballistas here. couple units of Greek cavalry, hoplites, armored hoplites, and you've almost like no ranged. Just like it's a 3-man Peltas unit, so yikes. Yeah, we should be okay against that. Let's now swing on over here and take on these brigands. What do they have? Some Eastern infantry, 1 unit of archers, 2 peasants, and then 1 horse archer. Okay, that horse archer is going to be annoying. But I have 3 archers and 3 Bedouin archers, so
Prepare for battle.
we should be able to take them on here.
Engage.
I am now all set up here, and there is a chance that they could have a little bit of a high ground on me if they were to deploy right in front of me. So let's get started, and yes, that's exactly where they're going to be. But still, I think that if we just use our mobility assets, I mean, having some chariot archers is pretty nice as well. And they want to lead with their horse archers, perhaps. Yeah, that's going to be an annoying unit, but we're going to have to just take our knocks and keep on marching. They have decided to move away from my flanking Bedouin archers, so we're going to continue our wide flank on this side, because at this point, trying to go down here, I mean, they're giving up the high ground, which I am A-okay with, so let's continue. Okay, yeah, they seem to have, like, realized their mistakes. They want to take back their high ground. Yeah, that might be too late, because we got it now, and we can start shooting at those Eastern infantry. Their archers are still out of range at the time being. Yeah, we're getting shots in with all of our mobile ranged pieces. Let's continue to move our infantry up so that my foot archers can also shoot in. And yeah, they want to bring forward their peasants. Yeah, they can get trounced by arrows or even chariots. Just send them in. And if they want to back up, let's just continue to apply pressure here. Let's not get too crazy here. I mean, I guess like nothing here can really fight my chariots in melee. I mean, except for the Eastern infantry, so let's just stay out of their range. Yeah, like this. That's the 1 unit that wants to hit us, so let's get away from them. And then, yeah, peasants want to move up, so let's keep pushing with my infantry here. And yeah, that should be fine. Let's see, where do those Eastern infantry go? They pulled back, it appears, so let's continue. Oh, I don't need to run everyone down because it's just a brigand army, so yeah, I don't need to chase them all off the field. Now their horse archers and their archers are in range of my foot archers, and that is always a good feeling for me. Their infantry wants to chase my mobile elements, so that's pretty sweet. Let's just keep on skirmishing back here. Yeah, they've already pulled back, and now they're starting to break. It's very tempting to... it's very tempting to get a chase in with my chariots. And let's even push up with my camels now. And who's left? Like, who's not breaking? Their general? Their horse archer unit? Okay, let's just keep pushing forward with my infantry then. It should just be a few more shots before this general breaks. Yeah, there we go. Let's end that battle. We did lose 22 men. But now a lot of these units are freed up so that they can move on to an actual hot front somewhere.
No more moves, sire. Orders?
Let's make sure we drop a save here. And what should we do next? What's the next fight that we want to get done? Oh yeah, I was looking at this. Yeah, these boats were going to make their way home. They're mostly healthy, but you know what? On our way to making our way home, why not kill a few Roman boats? This is the 3-star Admiral, which we have a chance of sinking. So it looks like we may have taken care of them, and let's take care of these Brutii as well. And it's tempting. It's tempting. Gosh, I don't want to get sucked too much, too much further away though. But like, then again, I mean, the only army that I have here is just a family member, which I want to get to Egypt eventually. But getting rid of Roman boats when I have the chance also feels like a good opportunity.
Prepare to engage.
Here I can get rid of 2 Roman boats, potentially. Got rid of the Brutii.
The sea is yours, great lord.
Yeah, there's a lot of Roman boats. Alright, let's try to get these guys back if I can. How's the fleet looking?
Moves, sire.
Yeah, a little banged up. The biremes, oh, the triremes are banged up, actually. Okay.
Ships ready. Ships ready. Ships ready.
Yeah, let's move these
Aye,
guys
my
out,
lord.
and then let's
Ships
retrain.
ready. Aye, my
does
lord.
does plague carry on to fleets? Ugh, I don't know the answer to that.
Ready
Does
to
this
sail.
is there any like plague on these boats?
Ships
I'm not
ready.
seeing anything.
Ships ready.
Huh. Well, I guess this is how I find out. let's retrain these boats and see if the plague transfers. Okay, now let's take out this Scipii army. It's not super duper dangerous, and I have 2 armies here as well.
My liege.
I doubt they're gonna stand there and let me attack them with both armies, but they will only be able to retreat so far, so... Oh no, wow, I keep getting surprised by that. The Scipii do not retreat, they just stand their ground. Well, props for that, I suppose. Let's make sure that we are commanding this army, and Principes, early legionaries, Auxilia, Principes, he has some decent experience, Equites, some good legionaries, but beat up units, that is. Yeah, we've faced stronger Scipii armies, or Roman armies, that is. So let's go ahead and stop them. Here we are in a wide open desert, and if we can just get to the lip of this hill in front of us.
troops have arrived on the
Okay,
battlefield.
well, I'm pretty
Send them to the
sure.
point of crisis.
Pretty sure that I made sure that I was going to be commanding those reinforcements, and it wasn't going to be the AI. But yep, that's just always going to be a mystery, I suppose. Not always. We might figure it out eventually. But yeah, it might also like. So I know that folks have said that if I look at the enemy army's composition, then that sort of resets the you know, the box being checked essentially. I always figured if I just checked and rechecked again, that it would be fine. And in many cases that seems to do the trick. But then in some cases it seems like it doesn't do the trick. So yeah, there's something going on there that's probably worth checking out. Let's see if I can actually get, you know, let's see if I can get up here. I was actually going to concede this, like, lip here, but if they're going to sort of give it up, then maybe we can advance. And, I mean, honestly, like, I'll take the help from my reinforcements if they want to pressure them from behind. Looks like I actually am commanding him. Oh, okay, so I'm just commanding him. Oh, shit, okay. Well, let's get over here then. Let's run. Okay, so that's... Alright, that kind of tricked me. Alright, yeah, let's get... Jesus Christ. Are they going to catch me? They got Equites. Oh, shit. I have chariots that can, like, zip out here, maybe. And maybe the cav, too. Yeah, they're trying to cut me off, those bastards. Yeah, let's come over here. Yeah, that's interesting. They're breaking off their like main force too. Let's see what's happening up here. All right, they got legionaries coming on in. I mean, you're allowed to not fight legionaries if you don't want to. It's completely up to you. And let's go here. Our chariots go here. And let's see, what do we have here? Hastati. So chariots, you can run, and then you guys can come up and run. You guys can come up and run as well. Hastati. All right, there we go. So I wonder, gosh, are they just going to run off? Let's try to charge into the rear of those Auxilia. It's not a great unit to charge into the rear of. Egyptian chariots charge into those legionaries, and then here charge into the rear of those Hastati, and then I have this other general up here as well. Gosh, okay, this actually would be a great time for me to have another army, you know, making sure that they don't run off, because that's what it appears like they're gonna do here. Yeah, they're just going right for that red line. Man, that's kind of stupid looking, isn't it? When they just run right by my reinforcement army that's just right behind that red line. Oh man, that's too bad. I think we should still be in range, though, of being able to get another attack in here. Right after this battle, we should still be able to hit them. And yeah, we should actually maybe get rid of a unit of early legionary cohorts right here with my Desert Cav. Yeah, they want to fight back. It's... Our Desert Cav should win. Let's see here. Shaken, concerned because the generals fled the battlefield. Defeat seems certain, so victory seems certain. Okay. Yeah, let's continue this just to get rid of that whole unit. Yeah, if we can get rid of that unit of early legionaries. Perfect. Alright, there we go. We got something out of it. And we can just take care of them right after this.
All the sweeter for being so decisive.
We did lose 27 men, but we killed 223, and let's go ahead and finish the job.
Victory!
They ran all the way up over there, eh?
My liege.
Gosh darn it. Alright, so I can't get back with... I can't get them with my good army, but I can get them with my bad army. Well, that's fine, actually. Because you know what I had in mind, actually, was to send my good army back to Memphis and try to get a quick retrain in before I get more Romans pouring on in. Yeah, that's what I had in mind. So let's actually send you... Let's actually just drop a save. And then now let's send you to finish the job. As it turns out, every way that we look, we are facing uphill. There's less of an uphill over in this direction, so I wonder if it would have been better for me to come on over here and come from this angle, because I would imagine they're going to be up there, right? So let's consider, yeah, let's look at this instead. Let's go like that, and then Bedouins, and then my secondary character, who's not my general of this army, but yeah, there we go. Okay, that's a little bit better. So let's just face them a little bit more like that. And let's start to envelop them. They are now bringing their small archer unit forward, so I'm going to want to put pressure on them with my infantry so that I can sort of push them back. If anything, since my mobile elements are so weak in this army, I would rather take the brunt of this assault on my main infantry force. Just I have so many spearmen, you know. If anything, this battle could be the test of what I was just sort of mentioning at the beginning of this episode, where it's like, you know, would the legionaries push into these spears? I wouldn't mind trying that out. Are you guys shooting at something? Yeah, shooting at Triaria. Yeah, I don't mind that.
General.
Yeah, this would be a good battle to see. Like, is this Roman army going to feel confident charging into this? Because I wouldn't mind that. All right, my archers do have range now on their archers, so let's take them out. And let's see if we can sort of goad their infantry into an attack on us. Yeah, there we go. Principes and Hastati are coming towards the flanks, so let's just kind of hang back. We just don't have the ranged firepower to take out these pieces like we have in our normal armies. So typically, like, these units would be completely wiped out by, you know, these ranged pieces, by our, you know, ranged pieces. But yeah, with this, I don't feel like we have the strength to really accomplish that. So let's just keep pulling back, I guess. Yeah, we don't have the Desert Axes either in this army. What do they have here? Principes and Hastati. Principes and Hastati. I mean, between all of these archery, like all these pieces here, actually, yeah, they want to turn around. Are they gonna hit us? No, they're not. Okay, so yes, let's gang up on this Hastati then. Let's go here and make sure that you're running. Run, please. Run, please. And let's try to get a charge. Let's try to get a charge in on these Hastati, and we should be able to wrap them up. And there they go. Okay, yeah, they fought harder than I thought they were going to. But yeah, that's the thing. Like, that's why I want to try to avoid. I was just saying too. I was like, let me try to avoid getting my mobility pieces any more banged up than they already are. You know, and here I have just already I'm fighting with them more than I'm fighting with my infantry. So let's try to fight with my infantry. Let's try to actually get an engagement with those forces. Let's try to be very defensive with my mobile elements, just so that like I can save them for running stuff down, you know? So yeah, let's just keep pushing forward. Are slingers in range? No, slingers are not in range yet. Oops, nope, let's not do that. Slingers are now going to wipe up the Velites. And yeah, early legionaries are going for it. They are charging down my camels. What do we have? 16 left, and they are being hit by javelins from the skirmishers as well. So gosh, you'd think that they wouldn't make it, but man, they're just going for it. There's 8 left. Last volley didn't even kill a single guy. Jeez, oh Pete's. There they go. There they go. Alright, let's see if we can run them down. Alright, never mind. Just let's waste all of our javelins on a broken unit. Yeah, 2 left. Alright, that's fine. Our slingers and our archers now are shooting out into these Triarii. And maybe the early legionaries as well. Now we have the light auxilia marching forward. In fact, let's see here. I would rather you just charge them. Yeah, some javelin units. Man, they're going after my camels. Yeah, let's just hit them with my general unit. Let's make sure that no one else is shooting at them. Are you guys shooting at them? No, you're not. All right. So that'll wipe them out. Then we have some Principes coming right on behind them. So let's get out of the way there. And then let's get out of the way here with my Cav. Let's go. What do we have? Triarii? Yeah, we don't... What are you guys doing? Yeah, there's a Cav. Yeah, they're impetuous. I keep forgetting that. Yeah. Yeah, impetuous light cavalry. Jesus, I have to remember that. All right. Principes, come on up. All right. Yeah, no one wants to fight my spears. That's just... They just know better. They understand the danger. Equites are now charging right into my slingers. Let's see if I can get them back in time. They should hit those spears. And these Principes just want to keep on going after my camels. Let's just get out of their way. And yeah, those Equites are going to get wiped out.
Now attack!
Yeah, let's try to get rid of him. And gosh darn, man. Alright, yeah, Principes caught me back here. I'll look away for 1 second. Oh dear. Yeah, we might have to turn around our skirmishers, even though they're out of ammo. We just need something to kind of like hold on, like fix these Principes. And early legionaries here. So let's just bring up my slingers so that we can shoot into them. And let's get back here with the Nubians. Yep, come back here, please. And let's not get caught. Let's kind of come back here. Yeah, if anything, yeah, let's just kind of hit them with my skirmishers. And if we can turn around with those guys. What are you guys? Oh yeah, I told them to do that. That's right. There we go. Now we have some pikes sticking out into them, and we can start throwing some javelins into them as well. And that should do the job. Let's see, Equites, do they want to come back in? Maybe, maybe not. Early legionaries are getting shot at by archers. Archers are out of ammo, but our slingers are still firing on in. Principes are now running, so let's go ahead and chase them down with my skirmishers. Let's go ahead and plug this gap here with my spears. You can go back. Bedouin archers have come back from routing as well, which is nice because they still have ammo, so let's get them back up here. Oops, my Bedouin archers got too far ahead. Oh, that's a mistake. Darn it. Yeah, this got charged by Equites. And even though we have a bonus versus cavalry, I doubt we're going to be able to take on those Equites. Yeah, that's a shame. That's a shame. Can you avenge your fallen brothers here? Yeah, let's send in this general, or this character at least, and let's stop shooting. Let's send the Bedouins in to kill him. And there we go. We can take care of... Gosh, are we going to get him? There he goes. He goes down. And let's turn around here. Those early legionnaires, yeah, they're pissed. They're coming on in. And yeah, we really don't have much for ranged. Yeah, slingers, let's get you guys up, like, up here. Because, yeah, I think those are the only guys that still have ammunition. Other than my Bedouins, of course. They have ammunition as well. Yeah, those early legionaries are getting shot in the back by my Bedouins. Let's see, you guys are out of ammo, so let's get back here. And let's just march the spearmen up. There we go. There we go. They finally break. So let's send what I have left for mobile pieces. Yeah, let's go ahead and run them down with everything that we have left. Make sure that these guys are done for so that we can focus on retraining my armies and getting ready for the next wave of Romans. Well, we did lose 151 men, but we killed 462. And the coast is clear for just a little while here. I'm curious to see how long exactly do we have.
Out of moves, great lord.
Alright, so what's the distance on these guys? They can get to Memphis in like 2 turns, essentially. Okay, So we're gonna get to Memphis next turn with this army.
Mighty general.
And then we'll have 1 turn to train up
No more moves, sire.
before they arrive. Is kind of what I'm looking at here. So I wonder if this army
General.
can hold the line. I have my doubts. I have my doubts. You know, they do okay against, like, you know, banged up armies. You know, this is not a high tier army. I will say, just Astadi and Principes, Ballista, War Dogs, some Cavalry Auxilia, some Velites. Yeah, this is an old-fashioned army. Gosh, that's fine. This is a tougher army. Some urban cohorts and some Praetorians. Yeah, this is tougher. But that first full stack isn't that bad. I do have this mercenary force that has been coming out from my eastern territories, including some mercenary war elephants, and I threw in Shabaka Philadelphos as well, who was on his way. So there is that. They're, you know,
Forward.
they're getting here. I could actually train up a couple more mercenaries. Who's available? Some Libyan mercenaries. 350 denarii apiece. 2 melee attack, 5 missile attack. So that's like less than my skirmishers, I believe. And then 3 total defense. 0 armor, 1 defense skill, 2 points for a shield. Yeah. Yeah, not great, but how did they compare against Paltests? So yeah, these guys are better in like every way. 4 melee attack compared to 2. 6 missile attack compared to 5. And defense of 9. Holy shit, yeah. 2 armor. 2 defense skill compared to 1. And a 5 shield. Wow, that's a big shield. Yeah, what do these guys have? These guys have fast moving. Do you not have fast moving? They do. It's poor morale, so yeah, they're even worse in that regard. I imagine that the mercenary Paltas were a lot more expensive to train, would be my guess. And these guys have a bonus in the desert, so I think they're going to get like a +3 to their melee attack in the desert, I think. Which would put them above the mercenary Paltasts in these conditions. So there is that. Let's train them up anyway. Let's just get these guys. Throw them in there because we could use the help. And then down here, what do we have? Some more Libyans, yep, and some Numidian mercenaries. So some more Jav. cav, and melee attack 6, missile attack of 9. Nice. And defensive 8. Okay. Cantabrian Circle, good morale, good stamina, fast moving. I'm surprised they don't have the bonus in the desert trait. You know, that would make sense. We can get hoplites down here as well. That's pretty nice. Yeah, 16 defense, good stamina, bonus fighting cavalry, can form phalanx. We already have a lot of phalanxes though in this army. We don't quite have the room. I just did merge my army up. I think...
Sire, my liege, orders?
Let's see here. It's tempting...
Mighty general!
How many units total? 6, 7? Jesus, I don't know if I can make that much room in this army. Okay, let's just take this general out. Shabaka? How many Shabakas do we have? You're just Shabaka. You don't get a last name. And then this is Shabaka Philadelphos. Yeah, that's way cooler. Alright, well, just Shabaka. You get to train up these mercenaries. There we go. Alright, so that's, you know, all together, those mercenary forces and my native forces here should be enough to hold the line until I get this army retrained. Oh, perfect. And we get +1 command when fighting against Romans. Roman turncoats. Yes, that's wonderful. And that's going to be for you, is it? Yes, perfect. So yeah, you're going to be a 4-star when fighting the Romans. That's very useful because we're going to be fighting a lot of them. There's now 1 battle left to fight in this turn, and let's go ahead and sally out and fight these Greeks. Yeah, they do outnumber us by a little bit, don't they? Yes, they do. It's militia hoplites though, they're so bad. We should do okay here, but I'm curious to see how those ballistas do. I am really hoping that I can get these guys in range, because, yeah, I don't know, basic archers and slingers, that seems like a far ways away. Hopefully they can sort of move towards the walls as they have previously. Now, I'm not going to make the same mistake as I did last time. I do have my cavalry right next to the door so that I can slip on out and give chase if they do retreat, so that is an option for me. I have my... Let's see, up here... Oh yeah, I do have some units up here. Okay, I didn't really mean for that to happen, but that's fine, I guess. Yeah, this is a smaller space than on that previous... on the Roman... Yeah, the Roman campaign. Yeah, the Julia campaign. It seems like the Roman walls have like a greater space in between, so you can fit a whole unit in between, but not so up there. And then yeah, down here, yeah, mercenary peltasts. Infantry is probably not going to get engaged, but got my Niles spears and my peasants right over there. I have my chariots on over by the gate over on this side, so that they can slip on out and get around the flanks and maybe harass the flanks. Unfortunately, I only have 1 chariot archer and then 2 of the melee chariots, but hopefully that can get the job done. So let's go ahead and let's see what they're going to do here. Is anyone in range? So right off the bat, no one is in range, and they appear to be backing off. So none of those are things that I want to see. Gosh, I wonder if I can slip out and catch these ballistas. I think I may have moved too slowly, but we will see about that. And then let's go on over to my chariots, because if they're going to back off, then I need to get my chariots out of these doors here. And yeah, let's see. Yeah, they're going to get away. What do they have for ranged again? I already forgot. They do have a full strength unit of archers. So yeah, that's not going to work. Let's just kind of get back with these guys. And let's just kind of back up here. Let's see, are they gonna... Oh, it's too bad, yeah. Taking out those ballistas would have been nice. Okay, this is interesting. They are sending some hoplites forward. Because are they responding to my chariots leaving the settlement. Ooh, okay, that's cool. Because they're going to be getting shot by my defenses now. Yeah, it's too bad that I only have the one chariot archer. 2 would be better. Alright, looks like they're backing off now. Because what I'm thinking at this point is, if we can... Are they going after my... Can't really tell which direction they're going. But my idea at this point is maybe bringing out a unit of archers to sort of bait them into coming forward. Are you guys able to get some shots? No, they're just out of range. Our chariots are starting to get a little bit closer here, so let's go ahead and bring these archers through the front gate. I'm just going to bring one unit out, essentially as bait. Because, yeah, these hoplites seem like they really want to get involved. And it seems like they want to face off against a certain target here. And my goodness, if I could get into those ballistas and take them out, that would be a very good feeling. Because I'm a little worried. Oh yeah, let's make sure that I keep you guys on a loose formation, just because if they are starting to take fire from ballistas, I want them to take less casualties. There we go. We have ourselves our first victim. These hoplites are coming forward, and hopefully they can start to get shot by my towers. Let's see, so these chariots... So what do we have? Archers coming up and 2 hoplites. So let's keep an eye on that. Okay, so the red line is right there. Chariot archers are not quite in range. And they have 2 units of ranged pieces behind them. Archers and something else. Oh, it'd be so nice to take out those archers and whatnot. Alright, what do we got here? So let's back up a little bit. Yeah, you guys can back up. And are my towers shooting? Man, do they have to like be really close? It's wild. Slingers, yeah, they're not in range either. All right, it looks like these archers are finally shooting. Good. Good. So let's go up here again, and let's bring. Ooh, okay, yes. Give me your light infantry. Give me your light infantry. Holy smokes. Let's just take it. Let's just take it. There we go. Go. And then up here. Oh yeah, let's not get caught. Let's come around here. Let's come up here. Let's go back. And oh shoot. Okay. Nope, let's not go into. Let's not. Nope, back up. And then you guys over there, back up, please. And if we can get a little taparoo in, and then pull back. And if we could just route these guys. How are we doing up here? Looks like we broke those guys that were going on the gates. Actually, if that hoplite's gonna leave you alone, just keep on cleaning up those guys there. Yeah, perfect. And yeah, we're shooting down hoplites here. Did I lose any guys up here? Can't tell. I think I might have already. Alright, so there's archers there. Wait, which one's the general?
Now attack and break the will of his followers.
Is it one of the? Is it one of the Peltas that was fighting? Gosh, I wasn't even paying attention. All right, let's bring these archers back up, and yeah, if the general is like one of those guys in those light infantry units, then that'd be really nice. Here, you guys can back up faster. You're always allowed to do that. And let's see here. All right, hoplites. I wonder, so one thing I don't know the answer to is, there we go. Yeah, so he was, yep, nice. So that was
sacrificed himself.
He was in
rather
one of
than
those light
leading
infantry
his
units.
men to a
Nice.
dignified defeat.
So one thing I don't know is the fear effect of chariots. Is that cumulative? So like, for instance, if I were to have multiple chariot units next to an infantry unit, would that infantry unit be taking multiple fear effects essentially? Like if I just surround this guy without necessarily, attacking him, would he be receiving multiple minus? What in the gosh darn are you guys doing? See, like don't do this to me. Come on. What's happening here? Come on. Oh boy, I haven't seen that before. That's a dumb one. Just getting stuck on the red line, eh? Ooh, that's bad. That's a bad feeling. If I send you to like attack something, will you do it? There, yeah, there. Okay, I think that helped. Giving them a mission, a purpose in life helps them reorientate themselves. And let's see, if I were to hit these hoplites in the rear, would that help? Very tempting, very, very tempting. Ooh, shoot. Okay, guys, get back. Guys, get back. I don't know. Cav got a little bit too crazy there. And it looks like those guys are running away as well. Yeah, so if you guys take care of them, let's move up these chariots as well. And you guys go after those archers so we can clear up those hoplites with them. And alright, let's go Cav. Let's start to pressure them again. Yeah, please catch those archers there. That'd be really nice. Alright, and let's start to circle the wagons here with our cavalry. How's our archers? We're starting to retreat back from these militia hoplites. Militia hoplites should get dunked on by my dudes. Do you still have ammo? You do. So yeah, you guys are shooting in. Perfect. So yeah, those militia hoplites should get dunked on. Let's go back here and, yikes, let's not get caught. If we could maybe tap them in the rear. Yeah, it feels like that's a unit that would break really quickly. What are they, militia? Are they militia? No, they're just regular, so not quite as bad. But you see, like, if I just park multiple units that cause fear next to them, are they going to be receiving those multiple morale penalties? My gut says yes. That's what my gut says. Like this, yeah. Like this, see, just breaking like that. Yeah, there we go. Let's run them down. Yes. We didn't even have to touch them. Perfect. And our chariot archers still have like plenty of ammo too, which is really nice. We have ourselves our next victim up here. A unit of militia hoplites is coming up to deal with our chariots, so way less armor for my guys to have to deal with. And yeah, they're getting a little bit confused here. Let's send those cavalry units back to get out of the way. And yes, there we go. Yeah, just cause a little bit of fear and they start to run away. Perfect. Yeah, so there we go. Those militia hoplites are now breaking. Let's go make sure we're shooting at those militia hoplites so we don't get some friendly fire here. Let's bring back my cavalry. And let's move up my archers a little bit. Do you still have ammo? Yes, they do. Alright, hoplites, Desert Cav are in the neighborhood. And I feel like I haven't noticed getting shot at all by the ballistas. Are they not shooting, or are they just continuing to reposition themselves? Is that what's going on? Yeah, it's curious. It's curious. Well, my chariot archers just shot those ballistas off of their pieces. So let's get those crewmen. Let's run them down with my Desert Cav, which has sort of meandered over in this direction. And yep, we got, let's see, are these guys running? Yes, they are. Perfect. Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Yes, let's get these guys. Another unit of hoplites just broken by the fear effect of the chariots. Yeah, that's a wonderful And we have ourselves another victim on this end as well. Militia hoplites going towards my archers here. Let's make sure that we don't get too far forward with my cavalry over here. Yeah, this is requiring a lot of micro, but it's going okay. Yeah, I feel like this is definitely worth the effort. At this point, if they want to send groups of militia hoplites in our direction, I reckon we're just gonna like start chain breaking them. Yeah, you guys can run down those militia hoplites. Chariots can help out. And there we go, another one is broken. Oops, nope, don't want to send you there. Send you there. Nile Cavalry. I think this is the first time using these guys in battle. Got some pretty sweet armor. The heaviest thing I have access to. So let's go ahead and run them down. And yeah, militia hoplites are moving towards. Do I still have ammo on these archers? Yes, I do. That's perfect. Yeah, they still have another shot or two left. Perfect, perfect. Nice, nice, nice. At this point, there's really not much left, even though I think these guys, are they out of ammo now? Yes, they are. But what is left? Militia hoplites, and a ballista crew still left. Yeah, this is going quite well, and my chariot archers, you still have some shots left? Only a couple. Okay, only a couple, so I might need to bring out some of my archers and slingers from my town to take out these last couple units, because I definitely don't want to have to charge them before they're broken. Oh, perfect, nice. I was getting a little worried about these hoplites because they were getting danger close, and I just run out of ammunition on these chariot archers. So let's go ahead and make sure that they are dealt with. And I'm bringing down my slingers and archers that have ammo just in case I need them to deal with this. Because, yeah, I could lose an unnecessary amount of, well, anything, cavalry or chariots, charging into even militia hoplites. That's the thing. As soon as I can get these hoplites to leave these two ballista crews, I'm going to try to snipe these guys and take them out, and perhaps some fleeing ballistas. Yeah, it's just militia hoplites, so you would think that if I just got close to them with my chariots, you would think that that would do the trick. Yeah, you guys can run. And then with them coming up as well, yeah, we have to be able to cause a morale break on these guys. Morale break, morale break. Come on, where's that morale break? Yep, there we go. Continue the battle. Perfect, perfect. Yes. Yeah, that feels pretty good. That feels pretty good. The enemy didn't just derp out and hang out next to my walls for some easy kills for me. I actually had to work for that. But yeah, definitely well worth it. Getting rid of that entire Greek army, because what are we looking at down here? 98%? Yeah, that feels pretty good. I did lose 27 men, but I killed 1,257, so yeah, that definitely feels like a pretty good move for us here.
Victory!
Nice. Let's drop that save. And what do we got here? So confident commander, so +1 command for... Who was that, by the way? That was you, Teos Alexander. Okay, perfect. While this already has been an action-packed episode, I have just put all in my build orders in for all of my troops and buildings, and there still could be a battle here to be had during the end turn. I do want to get an end turn in, just because, you know, it's a principle, right? Let's end this turn. I don't think that we're going to get a battle against the Romans, but if those Greeks attack over the bridge, they do not. All right, well, that's intelligent, but also a little disappointing. I was hoping, yeah, they just stood there. Okay. All right, they didn't move away. They moved closer, so we can fight them. So those Greeks can be destroyed. More brigands to fight. Oh, how fun. That's okay, at least we have troops here in Hatra, so that is fine. And yeah, Antioch has been a little unhappy. Their temple city is going to be finished during this turn, so that's going to be fine. And I just want to take a peek around. So the Romans they didn't advance. Although my spy has revealed more of them. Yeah, that's the force that doesn't look that scary. This force looks a little bit more scary. And yeah, we get into the good stuff here. Yeah, Praetorians, early legionaries. Yeah, that's fine too. Okay. So yeah, we definitely need some more meat before we advance on Siwa. It kind of, it sucks being defensive and all that, but until we can get rid of this gosh darn plague. Is Alexandria finally plague free? Jeez Louise, it looks like we're finally in the clear. Okay. So we can start retraining stuff here in Alexandria. That will feel nice. So let's retrain those troops and we can look at what we want to do in the next episode, of course. But I just wanted to take a peek around to see where things are at. So those brigands, there's any other brigands I need to... Always got to look out for those. Looks like it's just going to be those brigands. And another small Greek force heading up, but they are remaining behind to siege Sinope, so that's fine. Yeah, I like the idea of landing armies behind them, because these settlements seem like they're way less strongly held. Instead of grinding through this, and, even this for a matter, just like swooping in and taking Sardis and Caira or Rhodes, Halicarnassus, these places, because then they would get out of here and they would start to rush back to try to help out their core territories. And, that leaves them open towards me taking finally Tarsus, Bazaka, Sinope. So I like that idea better. Then again, I could end up taking Sinope without much issue eventually, once I have some free armies. 2 is kind of all I really want. Like having this army free and then an army out of Artaxata once these peasants come up there to relieve them. That should be good. And I would feel comfortable marching on Sinope with that. Even Mazaka isn't strongly held at all. So marching on Mazaka with an army from Hatra also is an idea, I suppose. The only real congestion is here around Tarsus. Okay, well, that would be fine too. So I have 12,000 in the bank or in the treasury. Yeah, it's getting a little bare bones, but it's time for me to start, looking at places that I want to take. I need to start taking settlements, of course. All right, yeah, Councilor's Chambers. I may as well throw that in before I forget. The bazaar is going to be finished in 2 turns here in Bostra. And faction announcements. So diplomat in Galicia has died. Where is that? Oh shoot, that's my guy that was talking and hanging out with the Spanish. Well, how old are you? 58? Gosh darn, yeah, that's right. I had 2 old guys hanging out with the Spanish. Well, Julie, I've taken Osca. That's too bad. Yeah, that's too bad. It's inevitable, I suppose. But yeah, I think that I would rather have you hanging out with the Spanish.
No more moves, sir.
What else do we have here? I set an effect philometer, spice merchant, 10%. Yeah, that's you down here in Thebes. That's fine. That's fine. And you also have the Cherugian, which improves the chances of casualties recovering from their wounds. And Tahotem, I don't know who you are. Tahotem, 17 years old, here in Salamis. Architect, 10% discount on construction costs, -1 from Squalor. Perfect. Yeah, that's all good stuff. He also has the Draftsman. So Draftsman and Architect, that's a 20% discount in total from construction costs, I believe. So, yeah, he might be worth bringing somewhere that I conquer, somewhere that needs a lot of stuff to build. Because I feel like Salamis is starting to get pretty maxed out in stuff I need to build. So I'm going to have to keep that in mind. Yeah, some law buildings built up and a Temple of Isis in Demantha. A lot of soldiers recruited. And what do we have here? Spain has a ceasefire with the Scipii and the Senate. Okay, good for them, but they're getting their asses handed to them by the Julii. So I don't know if that's going to be much consolation. The next episode is looking like I'm going to have one final little clash here. Well, not one final little clash, but I'm going to have to fight off these Greeks up here, and then I might get one little breather before I get to head on into another round of fighting against the Romans, and I can start to plan my attack on Greek territory. We will see about that. But before I go, I just wanted to say that if you are enjoying these videos and you would like to support the channel, then consider subscribing, liking, and sharing. It all helps immensely. Until next time, this has been Conasip playing Rome Total War. Thank you very much, and goodbye.